Hello. For today's discussion, I want to talk about the it's not my problem mentality, or it's not my job mentality. So I've been thinking about this pretty much all week and for quite a while now, but majority of this week is the it's not my job, it's not my problem. So that to me extends from very minor things, and it reflects on a person, basically their whole mentality, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, let's just say you go into a restroom and this is your place of employment, so you see these people, you work with these people, and you go to the restroom and you look at the toilet paper dispenser and it's empty. Both rolls in the toilet paper dispenser are empty, and let's just say the person or people, whoever, unwrapped the new toilet paper roll and they set it on top of the toilet paper dispenser. Now, this particular toilet paper dispenser isn't very difficult to operate. Basically, you just have to learn how to push in a tab and it releases the metal that you could put the new roll back on. Maybe a 2-second process at best. So, but the thing is that you can tell that people say, well, that's not my job and that's not my problem to figure out how this works. So I'm just going to do what's easy for me and just unwrap it and put it on top. And that to me translates to a whole bunch of things. Now it says basically it's not my job to replace the toilet paper roll, that's the cleaning lady's job. Or, it's not I don't want to make the extra effort. And what that says about you is a lot of things. Number one, the whole it's not my job extends into your whole life, where you're saying, well, the minor things aren't my job and why should I do that? That's beneath me mentality. Number one, it says that if you're not willing to do the little things to make life better, not only just for yourself but for everyone else around you, then you're definitely not willing to do the big things. It all starts with the little things, like that the Navy commander or general said, make your bed in the morning is probably one of the greatest pieces of advice. Yeah, because if your life and your personal space isn't in order at home where you live and that you're responsible for, if you can't extend that outward into your environment and take care of other things, and you're that selfish that you won't correct small things for the betterment of not only for yourself but for the people around you, what does that say about how you treat other people, the world in general, your environment, not only just your immediate environment but the environment of everybody else around you? It's very selfish to do that. So, how hard is it to do one small thing to make your surroundings better, or the surroundings for the rest of your colleagues and the world in general a better place? It's like people who unwrap a candy or smoke a cigarette and throw the wrapper or the cigarette butt on the ground. Again, they're like, well, it's not my problem, somebody else will clean it up. Well, it will become your problem. Eventually, that stuff accumulates. So, you would want somebody who came and visited your home to be responsible for themselves. What if you gave them a can or a water bottle and they drink the beverage and then they throw the water bottle on the ground and they say, well, hey, this isn't my house, this is your house, so you're responsible for cleaning up my mess? How would you feel? Would you want to invite them back into your home? Think about that. So that's what you're doing to other people. That's what you're doing to your environment when you decide to have that it's not my problem, it's not my job mentality. And that's a huge part of the degradation of the social standard You know, what kind of standards you have for yourself reflects on how you treat not only your body, how you treat your environment, how you treat everybody else, because, you know, your body is a reflection of that as well. Your body, your immediate environment is the difference of order and chaos. So somebody who typically has their home and their room and their personal spaces, their car is in order, well, if you look at their physical being, they're most likely going to have their physical being in order as well. It reflects, even the small things reflect and move forward. So think about that. Think about how doing small things, to correct small things, can impact your mentality. So if you go into a room and you see something out of order, to make that in order again is kind of like it takes away a stressor in the mind, because you keep seeing something out of order, and you're like, God, that's annoying. And but you're like, well, hey, that's not my job, that's not my item, or whatever it might be. That's not my clothing. Why should I have to pick that up? It's not mine. It's not my responsibility. Again, it's like, okay, so do you want to have a fight about it? Do you want it to continue to annoy you? Or do you want to just fix the situation? It's like, okay, there's so many people who are willing to bitch about something, but they're not willing to fix it. So it's like, okay, well, are you going to bitch at that person to clean it up, or to take out the trash, or to pick up their clothing? Or are you just going to get it over with and just, it's so much simpler for you to just pick it up and clean it up and take care of it, versus bitching about it over and over and over again. And I think that's what a lot of people do, is they're so willing to bitch about a problem versus just rectifying the problem. So you're like, well, what lesson does that teach that person? Well, you know, it might not teach them a lesson, but at least it solves the problem, so to speak. It's like, if there were enough of us in the world to just not bitch about something, just fix it, and to make the world a better place, then I think the ripple effect would help out everyone. So I think there are always going to be those self-centered people who say, well, it's not my job, it's not my problem, I shouldn't have to do that. Well, that's going to reflect on them personally down the road. But if you make steps to just clean it up and to make it better, then not everybody else has to deal with that. So if everyone just took one step to make the world a better place, then I think overall the ripple effect would be great. So not only that, but think about in your workplace or in life, taking those little extra steps, even though they might not be your problem or your responsibility. People notice that. People notice that, hey, you know what? She didn't really need to do that, but she did anyway. She went above and beyond what she was supposed to do, and it shows. It's reflected in everything you do, whether you do that extra rep in the gym, or you run that extra mile, or just clean up a mess that you didn't make, but you know that it affects everyone and everything around them. Then people will notice. You don't have to boast about how you do things, but if you consistently take upon yourself an additional responsibility, an additional task that you weren't mandated to do, and you went above and beyond, it's going to reflect in everything you do and who you are as a person. People notice that. People see the hard work that you do, and going that extra mile every time. Just think about the cumulative effect of doing that. So think about it, do something extra today and make the world a better place.